All right, let's begin. Let's rock. So this is the Grow Your Sales 30% Academy. And let's talk about sales. Money, 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 money. Who wants to make more money? Say me, me. I'm assuming y'all want to make more money if you're here. All right, so I'm going to first share with you why I made this program. And I'm going to go through a list of things people have been telling me over the years about sales, their problems with sales, their struggles with sales, their pain points with sales. And if you resonate with the pain point or whatever the statement is that people have shared with me, I want you to either chat in the chat box, write, yes, I can relate to that. Like, yeah, that's me, that's me, that's me, or no, that's not me, okay? And you can also unmute yourself, okay? But again, if you're gonna unmute yourself to be interactive with the webinar, like I'm gonna say, you know, for example, one thing people tell me is it's hard to know what to say on sales conversations sometimes. Who can relate to that? Who can relate to they're in the middle of a sales conversation, they see it slipping away from them, you know, it could be a regular sale, it could be a fundraising, it could be a potential client, and they can just feel it, you know, they feel it, like this is not really ending well, and they don't know what to say to turn it around. Who can relate to that? Put in the chat box, yes, that's me, or tell me that's me.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you, Joseph.
Oh, hi, just enjoyed. You started already?
You just started.
Oh, okay.
Again, who can relate to the experience of not knowing what to say in a sales conversation to turn it around? Who can relate to that? I can. Good. Sorikita says yes. Joseph, yes. Yep. Next, who can relate to the experience of being in a sales conversation where you want to say something, but you also don't want to sound pressuring or sleazy. And so you have something you might want to say, but you don't know how to say it in a way that would be not pressuring. You don't know how to say it in a way that would not be sleazy. You don't know how to say it in a way that would feel unwholesome for you. Who can relate to that experience? Put in the chat box or tell me, say, yes, I can relate to that. Okay, and the reason I'm going through all these pain points right now is because I want you guys to get that this program is not a conceptual program. This is not some sales academy where you're gonna like talk about like the 3 fundamentals of sales, right? And not that there's not value in that sometimes, but this is a program designed purely around people's actual pain, their actual pain in sales. There's no theory here. All right, next. Are you sometimes in the sales conversation and you can feel the rejection coming and you just hate that experience? Who can relate to that?
Yes, me.
Who can relate to, yeah, thank you, Sarkuta. Who can relate to the experience of not like you're in a sales conversation maybe, but in the back of your head, there's this concern about how you don't want to be taken, you don't want to be seen as taking advantage or cornering people. Like you're in a sales conversation and like you have this, like you literally like 20% of your brain is focused on don't come off pressure, don't come off trying to corner people. And so you don't have full attention in that conversation. Half your attention is on managing the way you're coming across. Who can relate to that? Who can relate to the experience of finding it very hard to even get people's attention? Like forget about a sales conversation, even getting a sales conversation. You're finding it very hard to get people's attention, whether that's their email attention, which is not optimal, but okay, it's a good start. Whether it's their phone attention, whether it's their meeting attention in person. You know, people are constantly swamped with sales and spam everywhere all day. You walk outside, they just did this study, the typical amount of ads you see in 2 minutes of walking in the city are like 77 ads. People's emails are full. People's Facebooks are full. They have these Facebook bots now that just, you know, will ping people all day, like sales, 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 sales. And so it's very hard to get people's attention. Do you know that you need to be devoting time? What about this pain point? Who can relate to this? You know you need to be devoting time to get better at sales. Thank you, sorry, get the yes. You know you need to be devoting time to get better at sales, but you're just not doing it. Like, you know, you're too busy doing sales to work on getting better at sales. Like you're too busy chopping down the tree to take the hour to go sharpen your axe. Sorry, get all caps, yes, that's great. Yeah, I can relate to that. Like, you just know it, but you're not doing it. Who here feels exhausted after hours of sales? Like you sit down to a work block. Let's say it's a 90-minute work block. You're like, it's noon o'clock. It's noon on a Tuesday. I'm gonna sit down. The next till 1:30, I'm doing sales. And you find that at 1:30, you're like exhausted. Like the experience was draining for you. It's critical that the sales experience is not draining, or you won't do it. You won't do it reliably. You won't do it as much as you need to. Right? A lot of this program is about taking the experience of sales and turning it into one that's actually enjoyable and fulfilling. Imagine that. Do you wish you could bring high energy to sales? You know, instead of like, okay, so what we do is we blah, 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 and we typically sell blah, 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 and, you know, or even if it's not that bad, but that your energy is low, instead of bringing a high energy, because it's very important to bring high energy to sales, because people purchase based on emotion, connectivity, and energy, not on logic. We're not logical creatures. How about this one? Thank you, Ali. Very, yes. How about this one? Who here struggles with feeling uninspired? They're not inspired in their sales. You know, they just feel a vacuum of meaning and purpose. Like maybe I'm selling iPhones all day and I'm like, what's really the point? I'm just not inspired about it. There's no meaning to it. There's no purpose to it. And that's critical. That's critical. If you want to be a highly effective salesperson, you've got to discover the meaning, the purpose in it. And that's not a luxury, and that's not woo-woo, and it's not esoteric, and it's very doable. But a lot of people struggle with that. Do you feel like you're a shnorrer sometimes? Do you feel like you're basically a beggar? You know, it's like, like, you know, please give me some attention, or please give me money. Like, and you just feel, you feel like you're giving your power away, like you're giving your dignity away, like you're giving your you know, your rock star status away. Now I'm a shnorrer and I'm trying to get you, and you have all the cards, and it's just a ugh. Who can relate to that? Yeah, like I'm selling myself. That's right. Right. Who here struggles with feeling like they're chasing people? And they don't want to chase people. They just want to have a conversation and see if they could help this person. And, you know, like they just don't want, they constantly feel like they're chasing and chasing. I'm just getting back to you. Hi, Lisa. I just wanted to circle back and find out, you know, what's going on. If you still could use some support and help with your, you know, iPhone's design or whatever, like just checking in, just checking in. And it's this needy energy where you're just chasing people. And okay? Who here, sorry, LOL, yeah, LOL. Who here feels and struggles with that their script, their sales script? Like either they don't have a sales script, or they do, but they don't use it, or they do, but it's not effective, it's not well designed. Okay, some of you might be like, I don't know that I need a sales script. You need a sales script. Okay, if you're in a sales conversation and half your attention is on trying to think about what to say next, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. It's not that unique, people's objections, people's hesitations. They're not that unique. They tend to fall into like 3 to 5 categories. That's it. And you need to have a well-designed script for each one, period. If you're in a sales conversation and you don't have a script hammered out, that means half your attention is focused on what to say instead of focused where. Where should 100% of your attention be? Over there with them. Over there with them. Not over there with the brain. Okay, they just said that they had a difficult quarter. So maybe if I say, well, think about it as an investment, well, then maybe I could think about what they said. It's like, you're not fully there. You need to be 100% over there with them to be highly effective. Here's another thing I hear from salespeople. This could be CEOs, many of whom do sales. It could be sales directors. It could be a sales agent. It could be an entrepreneur, a business owner. It could be a shliach who's doing fundraising. It doesn't matter, okay? I hear this struggle from people a lot. They feel like they're going at it alone. Like no one's working with you. No one's in the trenches with you. There's no sense of community or brotherhood or sisterhood or progressing along, getting better with other people who are committed to doing sales really well. Like you're all alone. And even if there's people in your company who are supposed to help you or whatever, like they don't have your back 100%. They've got to think about the company. You know? Are you craving community? Are you craving mentorship in your sales? Are you craving direction? Do you not want to have to figure it out all on your own? Like, you're all smart people. You can figure a lot of it out on your own. But do you not want to have to figure everything out about being masterful at sales and loving it and actually doing it all on your own? That's a big pain point for people. People struggle with that. And telling them to go read these books or whatever, it doesn't do it. Like, I don't want to have to do it all on my own. Do you want somebody that will hold you accountable and have only your interests at heart, no other agenda? Here's another struggle from people. Do you hate that feeling when you get an email or like a LinkedIn message or, you know, whatever, a text or just a phone call or a meeting where they go, you know, after thinking about it, you know, we loved your thing, but sorry, it's just not right for us at this time. No, thank you. Who hates that feeling? It's like you poured so much energy and focus and attention, and after, you know, minutes or hours or sometimes many hours, sorry, no thank you. Who just hates that, okay? Hate it, Joseph says, yes. You hate when people say, I'm gonna think about it. Like, let me think about it. I just wanna think about it. When you kind of know or suspect that they're really trying to say no, let me first check. Who here has had that experience where someone says, let me think about it, and you kind of know that it's a no, but that they're being polite or whatever, and yet you still just say, okay, thank you, or when would be a good time to follow up, which is crazy. Because your communication is not dealing with their communication. Their communication isn't, I'm going to think about it. Their communication is, I'm being polite, but no. That means that your response, in order to be effective, has to be tailored to your real communication, which is no. Instead of saying, okay, when would be a good time to follow up? When can I get back to you? Can I circle back to you on this in 3 months? Continuing the bullshit politeness, which never leads to a sale. I won't say never, but almost never. Who can relate to that? Me. Yes.
What do you comment?
Who can relate to the conversation? Sorry, who can relate to the experience of when the conversation isn't going well, you don't know what to say or do, or turn it around and leave the sale? Who can relate to feeling like they don't want to be that guy? They don't want to be that aggressive salesperson. Ugh, I don't want to be that guy. And so they don't really go for it in their sales. Who feels like repeated rejections wear them down? It's like, you know, I just did 90 minutes of sales. It's like, no. It's like the repeated rejections wear them down and grind them down until they're just like low on energy, low on inspiration. They're maybe still doing the sales call, whatever their are for sales, but it's like 70% of them is like, what's the point to this? People are just going to say no, right? And do you ever feel hopeless? Like, you know, that even if you work really hard at sales, you won't really get better. Like that the correlation between hard work and massive success is not there for you in sales. You don't see a connection between investing hard work, investing time and focus in your sales and seeing a huge, massive boost. Like you haven't really experienced that and you think, you know, this Barry guy over there is really, you know, saying that, you know, and I've met people who say that, yeah, if you work on sales, you get better, but like, maybe a little bit, you know, like they don't really see the connection between actual investment in their sales and getting massively better. And 30% is massive. That's my minimum commitment to people, is grow your sales 30%. I do that with companies. I do that with fundraising organizations. I do that with individual sales agents. It doesn't matter. 30% is massive and very doable with some work. You got to work. You got to take the coaching. You got to apply what we're talking about. But it's actually quite doable.